Okay, Mabyn's week 2 sequence. Let's see. Okay, so this is all good work. You're doing a really nice job. Like sometimes she understandably sucks into the tunnel or whatever, but you do a nice job, and this is just a whole bunch of repetitions to make sure that they learn those verbals. I think this is so. There's one thing I really like and one thing I hate about this setup. One thing that I really like about the setup is the first time I ever set this up with students, and I asked them how good they thought their verbals were between taking the A-frame and taking the tunnel. And almost everybody thinks that their dog could nail this very easily. And as you find, you use more verbals than most. Mabyn responds very well normally, and you see that it's a bit of a struggle. Most people's verbals are not nearly as good as most people think, I believe. So that's a good example of that. And the only way to really do it is to work on it just like you did. It was a nice job. So it kind of can show people like how it's a good test to show people. And then obviously you can work on it to improve those verbals. What I don't like about that setup I just did, if you see I changed the map in the group a little too late because I didn't even realize it was there until after the fact. But that tunnel should not have any S to it at all. So I apologize. If you're working on this in the future, don't do it as an S. Do it either as a perfectly straight line or set it up as kind of like a straight line to a soft one curve. You do not want any S's ever in your tunnels. That was an old kind of relic setup with even a slight S. Like that S was pretty slight, but still no S'ing of your tunnels, please. It's not very good. It's fine with Mabyn, but that would be a very bad setup with Tiny. I haven't watched Tiny's videos yet. Maybe you did. Not the end of the world, but in the future, please don't do that. It's not good. It's not a very. There's a safety issue. The bigger and the faster the dogs, we don't want them trying to do 2 lead changes in a tunnel like that. Okay, moving on. So I understand that you meant to do a blind and then you switched to the rear. Totally understandable. By the way, the first half of that was all beautiful, and she's running so fast, so she's doing great. And that happens to everybody where we get to that point. Hopefully, in the future, if you see her start to run that quickly, right? The time, ideally, to make the adjustment is a jump earlier than you did. Well, kind of a jump and a half earlier than you did. You made your adjustment here, which was good. It's better than trying to do a blind crossing, running over her or just pushing her off or whatever if your blind would have been so late. So, I mean, that's good. But a better solution, the best solution would be if you could have recognized back here along this line, wow, she's really moving. Then most likely, usually when our dogs are really moving, we tend to get more lateral distance, which means you could have sent her to that jump while you cut this corner off sooner. So similar to with the drills, we can get ahead of our dogs by using lateral distance, by sending them to cut your corner off to get to that blind. The second best solution, if we say, I don't think I can do that, or you realize even a little later, you don't realize here that she's booking, you realize it here that you're not going to get there in time. When you're coming around this corner, you say, oh no, I don't think I can get to that blind. Then you run like this and you slow down here and then do your rear. I'd rather see you, if you're going to have to slow down to do the rear at this point, back here near this one, that might create a little bit of false impression that she's going to decel into here, but I'd still rather have it back here, and then you can resend and do this and drive a line there. I still think it's better than doing it at this wing right here. Because what happens is your speed then when you pull up here and you did the rear and she read it okay, but if you do that too many times, you will eventually cause a lot more confusion between wrapping and the rear cross because your physical handling is too similar at that wing. The third best option is what you did. This is beautiful, by the way. That's what we want to see. And this is very unfortunate that she finds that treat like that. Okay, so now this time. So right here, in other words, if you could have cut that corner, you could have maybe got that blind. But if not, see how you go here and you're like, not sure. And then you come all the way and then you stop and send. I wish you would have slowed down more along here. So that way you could have driven that rear cross a little bit. Because when you slowed down there and stopped, that is very, very similar to a wrap. And we want to make sure that we keep the wrap and the rear cross as distinct as possible. But I will tell you, though, that it happens to everyone. Because sometimes our dogs surprise us. And when they start running faster than we think they're going to, that is a very nice surprise. This is excellent work here. I love that she stays parallel with you, and you trust her with layering the jump. And then that ending is all very, very nice work. Beautifully done. You did a great job this week with Mabyn, and Mabyn did an awesome job as well.